Hey everyone, it's Zahava. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I thought we would just have a little bit of a cozy chat. So go ahead and get yourself your favorite beverage and let's sit down and have a sort of heart to heart, just get us in the groove for the new year. But before we get started, I just want to show you, I have some new nails. These are press-on nails. I've had them on since last night. My stepdaughter came over and installed them, and I'm feeling extra girly. So I also wanted to low-key have an excuse to show them off. Right away, I can tell you I'm not going to keep them on very long because it makes washing dishes a little difficult, and certainly typing because I had to type up a list of speaking points for this video this morning, and that was a little bit challenging. So yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll probably just get right into this video because and it'll kind of explain itself as we go along, but I wanted to give you my 10 reading and booktube channel goals for 2025, and they're coming in no particular order, and I'm hoping that like this will help me to sort of focus my goals for 2025 and help you guys understand a little more about what you can expect from this channel. So welcome back if you're a subscriber, welcome in if you are new, and let's just get right into the list. So the first thing on my list, and I am going to reference my list in front of me, is to read more slowly. And these, like I said, are in no particular order. So it's just, I have a bit of a cold. So if I sound nasally or if I pause and edit the video, it's probably just me editing out some coughing, which no one really needs to see. But it is currently December 12th as I'm recording, and it is 5:46 in the mornings. So I might look a little tired for you guys, but that's totally okay because it's very much in the spirit of what we're going to be talking about. Even blowing my nose is harder with these nails. I don't know how you nail girlies do it. I don't get it. I don't know how you do it. Okay. So the first reading goal that I have, so the first goal that I have on my list for this year is to read more slowly. And that kind of ties into another one of my points later. But essentially, I want to slow down the reading process and not be so overconsumed with the amount of books that I have to report that I've read in a month or in a certain time period. So what I've noticed being on BookTube since about October is, since about October of 2024, is that a lot of people, and even before then, but I'm talking about being on BookTube as a creator, I should specify that, as of October of 2024, is that a lot of other creators basically are doing their monthly tallies. And I'm concerned about tallies because if reading is meant to be an escape and if reading is meant to be a joy, I don't feel like we should be counting how many books we've read. And though those videos tend to perform very, very well, I'm not sure that I'm getting the value out of the book, the value out of the story, the value out of the experience, the value out of my money if I've spent money on certain books. So by reading more slowly, you're getting the experience that you paid for. And that's something that regardless of videos, content, and video performance as a creator here on YouTube, I want to be more mindful, I guess, of my reading and really take the time to decide if I'm reading a book because I've really resonated with it or not, or if I'm rating it fairly based on, other factors. Like if I'm rushing through a book, am I giving it a fair rating? Or is it just because I feel rushed and I'm like, okay, my emotions are sort of hyped up and I'm rating a book like a 2 or 3 star that should have been a 4 or 5 star if I was in a better state of mind. So I think that slowing down my reading will help with that consciousness. Hopefully that makes sense. The next thing that I want to work on, point number 2, is to be myself and to do what works for me, both in terms of my reading, what I show you guys on this channel, and also what I'm not showing you guys on this channel. I also need to stop in that umbrella of being myself, it's that I need to stop worrying so much about what my videos look like the presentation of the videos. I want to say what I want to say and not be so worried about what people are going to think about the things that I say. And also, there's the point of the thumbnails, which tend to attract people to the videos. Or, you know, if you don't have a nice thumbnail, maybe somebody won't click on your video. And like sometimes it works for me to create thumbnails, and sometimes it just doesn't work for me to create thumbnails. And I need to be okay with that. And like I need to be able to say what I want to say, even if it's squirrely or messy or out of order or doesn't make sense. I need to be okay with the fact that my way of expressing myself can be kind of circular and not linear. So I won't start with point A and end at point B way up here. I'll start at point A and then I'll go all around the alphabet, and then eventually I will get to what has backed up my point somehow. So the way that I speak is a circular way of thinking, or the way that I think is a circular way of thinking, and not a linear one. So I just need to be okay with who I am and the way I do things. And I need to be okay with the fact that the content that I put out onto this channel reflects that, and that it's going to attract the people that it's going to attract. If it attracts anyone, well, obviously, because you guys are here, but it's also okay that it doesn't attract certain people. I also need to be okay with the fact that I don't have big bookshelves. I don't have that presentation. That's not my reality. It's not what I'm living with. I don't have a house that's my own. I'm living in a rental. This actually, what you see behind me is the master bedroom of the house. And I've turned it into what my fabric store, which I sell fabric. So, but I want to talk about books on this channel because books are a topic that I don't have anyone else to discuss it with. So that's why I come onto YouTube and discuss it with you guys. But I don't want to get ahead of myself because we have these points potentially to revisit later in the list. But essentially it's that. I need to be myself. I need to do what works for me, regardless of algorithms and whether or not the subscriber count is going up or down, the likes are going up and down, the comments are coming in or not. While these are all really good things, essentially I'm at a stage right now where YouTube and BookTube is a creative outlet for me, and I just need to keep myself focused on the fact that I am able to discuss books with whoever is willing to listen, however I choose to show up, which could be, with bedhead and, bags under my eyes and just, a cold, but I'm showing up. And this has to be okay. Point number 3, I want to annotate more. And that kind of ties into point number 1 a little bit, because annotating my books helps me to engage with the text a lot more closely, a lot more deeply, and also has the added benefit of slowing me down. So they're kind of like, even though I have them as points 1 and point 3, they kind of relate to one another. And also annotating is really pretty. And I am somebody who really does not have any trouble writing in my books. Like, I have no trouble with that at all. I don't annotate all my books, but I would like to annotate more of my books. And by reading slower, the disadvantage to that is that I have less time, I guess, to put out content. So there's like a balancing act there. But I think that ultimately, if my goal is really to absorb the most that I can with my books and reading as a hobby and potentially a future source of income, because I'm not going to lie, and that's like one of the commitments that I made to myself, was that I was going to be real and I was going to be myself, and we'll get to that. But like, if I could, slow down and be more mindful, annotation would help with that aspect. I hope that is coming across clearly. Okay, number 4 is I want to have more cozy chats. Sometimes I'll finish a book and I'll just want to talk about that book, like only that book, and not do a monthly reading wrap up. I know that these videos don't necessarily perform well, like when you're just talking about one book or one thing, but I want to have more cozy chats, because at the end of the day, YouTube, BookTube is a social network. It's a place where we can come to sort of share our thoughts with everyone. And everyone who is on this platform is just so brave. Can I just say, number 1, for being there and doing your thing, knowing that like thousands of people potentially could watch you. God, it's like so hard to record when you're sick, you guys. Oh my God. I'm trying to talk over like a really sore throat here. But yeah, I mean, I do want to have more cozy chats and not just showing you list videos and not just showing you, book haul videos and I bought this. And I guess that's kind of normal and natural. That's a way to start a booktube channel. But I am somebody that is really like in my personal life, I don't like superficiality. I really don't. I'm somebody that if you just want to tell me, hey, how's the weather? Like, we're not having a conversation. Let's have a real conversation. Let's talk about real things. And I know I've said it before on this channel whenever we've had a cozy chat, but I want to do more cozy chats. I don't want to be just doing like a superficial survey of the books that I've read. I want to talk about the things that really irked me. Like, there was one video that I did a while ago where I had said that our audiobooks ruining fiction reading for me. And I was talking about accents, how the accent of the narrator can sometimes make or break the book for me. And I found myself self-editing, something that I wanted to say to you guys that I didn't say because I was afraid that it was going to offend some people. And I'm trying to do less of that in 2025 because one of the books that I read had, and I'm going to say it, and I'm sorry if you're from the US and you're from the South. I love you very much. You have to understand that it takes a lot for me to say this out loud, but I'm going to say it because when I was reading The Unmaking of June Farrow, and despite the fact that it does take place in the South, I had a lot of trouble listening to that because of the Southern accent. So even if the narrator did a beautiful job and she has an angelic, magical voice and she reads, oh God, that narrator was on point, absolutely on point. I just have trouble with a Southern American accent. Just in my mind, I have trouble with that. And it's not because I don't love my US subscribers. I want to make that very clear. But for me, in my brain, it's just very hard to follow, like orally. And I was afraid to say that in that video. And because I was afraid it was going to be misconstrued. But I wouldn't be being honest with you guys. And I wouldn't be going through this journey because that was like a real part to me of why I may not have enjoyed the book. Like maybe if it was read, for example, not on Audible, maybe if it was read, the book that is, in my mind's voice, maybe I would have enjoyed the book more. And maybe if it was read in like a British accent, even though it wouldn't have made sense, like there's just something about the accent or the narrator that either makes or breaks an audio story for you. And I realized that I could probably get a lot of hate in the chat for that. And it's not what I'm trying to do here. Like, I'm not trying to insult anybody. I'm just trying to say that maybe there is one person out there that feels the same way as I do. And if you do, that's okay. Like, if you need permission to hear that, the accent can make or break a book for you, maybe you're out there and you think that you're alone, and you're not alone. And I was not strong enough at that point to say exactly what it was that gave me trouble with that book. And I don't think that the accent really helped with like the time jumps and things like that for me. I just found it like very very kind of like, I want to say off-putting. I want to say off-putting. And I really want to stress that if you are from the Southern US, it's not against you. It's just something that didn't work for me. It's something that didn't work for me in the context of an audiobook. So please, don't be mean to me in the comments. I love you all very much if you're from the Southern US. And I'm very happy to have coffee with you and have a conversation with you. But it just didn't work for me in terms of an audio. And, as part of my reading goals for 2025, I want to be more honest with you all. And that is like a part of it. So it's out there. I've said it. I'm sorry to anyone. It's not meant to offend you. But like I said, it didn't work for me. So let's move on to point number 5, which is to read down my TBR card. That doesn't really need much more explanation. I don't even know how many books are on it at this point. I'm a little scared to go down that road, but that's something that I have to do. I have to read it down. Point number 6 for 2025, one of my goals is to visit my local library. I actually have 2 local libraries in my borough. We have the old Ville-Saint-Laurent library, and then we have Bibliothèque des Boisés, which is like a newer one. And I would like to visit. And the old one in Vieux-Saint-Laurent was, so that's near like Vanier College. And that one was recently renovated. They had it shut down for like a couple of years, and then they renovated that. So I have to go check out that library, because it was the only library that I was able to go to when I was a kid, and I haven't been to it like, oh my God, in a dog's age. So I definitely need to go and see that library again, see like what the renovations were, and also like renew my library card, and also support my library. Like maybe take out a book or 2, not every month, because that's like a huge commitment for me, but like I definitely want to be supporting my local libraries. So maybe go to like library sales, or they always have like a cart of books that they have for sale in the front. And I just, I want to be more like active in the library as a goal for this year. Point number 7, we talked about it a bit before, but I want to accept all of my imperfections. Like accept that to be a valid booktuber, I don't always have to have a popular opinion. I don't have to have a big like bookshelf background behind me. We could be talking more often than not in front of this fabric background, because that's my background. That's what I have as my actual background when I do my videos. I'm sitting at my desk right now. Some of you that have seen my office before, which you could poke around some of the older videos if you want to see like what the office setup is, but some of you who have been here before, you already know you're sitting on a small tripod, not bigger than this, on my desk right now. That this is the background that you get, and I want to be able to accept and unapologetically give you book related content with this sort of unbook related background. I don't have a big house. I don't have a big production studio. I don't always have the best lighting. My microphones are not always working to the best of their like capacity and things like that. And I just, that you guys are of course free to have your own opinion, but I need to accept that doesn't invalidate me as a booktuber. It does not mean that I have less value. It doesn't mean that I have less to say. And that's okay, because maybe you're in a situation where you want to start a channel and you need that permission, and maybe you don't have a big bookshelf either, or your setup isn't conducive to visually talking about, maybe you don't have the right lighting, you don't have the right equipment, you can't afford it, you don't have a great camera, or whatever your situation is, you could still bring value to this community. So I just wanted to say that. And I myself am working on accepting that I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect, which if you know me at all is like a biggie. That's a biggie for me. And that's also kind of ties me into point number 8, which is that not having super aesthetic videos is absolutely okay. I do not need to show you shots of me making my morning coffee, because like, frankly, I don't give a crap. I don't give a crap. Whenever somebody has a video that shows a whole bunch of music and they're making their coffee, I'm actually likely to click off of that video, because I'm all like, oh, eye roll, like I have to see this again. Can't people just be real? Well, here it is. I'm being real. I'm looking for people that are making real content. And maybe if you're here, I assume that you're looking for people that are making real content too. And I am not going to be giving you guys aesthetic videos, or maybe I am if I feel like it one day, but it's not going to be formulaic. It's not going to be something where I'm going to be playing music. I'm literally just going to sit down, record a video, edit it as little as freaking possible, and put it up there, because I am a basic girl, and it's going to be on a very, very basic level. This cup, like, you can't see it, but there's like cracks in it, okay? And as long as it's not leaking, that's totally fine for me. Okay, so we will not be having super aesthetic videos on this channel, because I am not an aesthetic girl and I don't have the patience to do that. Okay. And I have some points about that too. I have some points, like, and I'll just read them to you. I will likely not, though it does not mean never, take footage while I'm shopping. Sometimes it just doesn't occur to me, or I don't spend long enough in the bookstore. Sometimes the camera will be shaky because I'm filming impromptu and I don't have a proper setup. I don't want to make videos that are also heavy on the editing. Like, I'm not interested in that whatsoever, because that's just like very, it's just heavy. It's just heavy. And you'll get the fabric background, and you might be confused for a while as to why we have this background and we're talking about books. And then also, some days I just have more energy than other days, you know? And so I put in the effort that I can. And others, I'm like wrapped up in the excitement of the moment and I just want to share. So I film quickly. And like sometimes, okay, I know it's gross, but I'm going to scratch my nose on camera. And I'm going to do that because there's like cat fur everywhere. I mean, cats like don't get fur all over the fabric. So if you're buying fabric, pet friendly house, but like it's not all over the fabric. Don't worry. But sometimes I do have it like in the air, and sometimes it gets like, I scratch my nose a lot. Okay. Like, sorry, you know, sorry, not sorry, but sometimes it has to happen. Okay. And like, also sometimes there's people at home. So if there's people at home, I can't always do a big setup. Like sometimes it has to be impromptu and just, as I said, very, very basic. Just has to be basic. So that's kind of like channel goals, which isn't really a goal, because sometimes I guess a goal would be to make things less basic. But in my case, the goal is to be more, even more authentic, if you can believe that. So, okay, point number 9. Not always being current and up to date. Okay, so that is a speaking point. Sometimes I film my videos 2 months in advance, and this is because I never know what my schedule is going to be like. I know I've said it before, but I'm saying it like officially now. I am not always up to date. I'm not always going to be up to date with like the Goodreads Choice Awards, which like I didn't do for 2024 because I was just new on BookTube, like only started BookTube in October, and necessarily I had missed an entire year of reading, so I had no idea what was going on. I had no idea which books were popular or what people were reading. I can't really give commentary on that kind of thing because I am just not that up to date on current events. I'm trying to be that way. Maybe we'll get some content like that at the end of 2025, but for now, I'm not always current, you know. And sometimes, like right now, as I'm filming, as I said, we're December 12th. I may not give you my reading wrap up until February. So you might get December and January books in February. And I am just not somebody that can commit to giving you things in real time. I'm working on it. I would like to be able to give you videos more concurrently with what I'm actually doing in my real life. But the problem with that is that panic sets in. Panic, like I'm not going to have content. I'm not going to have enough to show. And like, if I go away, there's going to be 3 weeks where there's no content being put up. So there's like a lot of neurosis, like still in the back of my mind. So I'm trying to get more current. So that is going to be something that I will work on for the 2025 season of this channel, bringing you guys within like can you see the panic in my face? Within like a 1 week delay. Oh my God. That's frightening for me, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try. And then the last point, number 10, is reminding myself that it's about the journey and not the goal, and that I don't need to be like perfect. Reading more or faster really isn't the point. And I would say that you even like miss the point if you read too fast. And if you're just trying to keep up with the Joneses and just read the same books that everybody else is reading, then what exactly are you bringing to the party? You know what I mean? So then also, like, it's not about the numbers, okay? So you can't help it if you're a content creator. You really can't. You look at your numbers, okay? Let's just talk turkey, okay? You look at the numbers. And when the subscriber count goes up, it's like any small business, any order that you get, you're like, woo, an order. So when your subscriber count goes up, we're talking real things. You're like, oh my God, so I got another subscriber. And then every time somebody unsubscribes, it's like a gut. It's like a punch in the gut. It's like a punch in the gut. You're like, oh my God, what did I say that alienated somebody else? And like, I know that YouTubers don't like to talk about it because it's kind of like an ugly subject to talk about, but it's real. It's real. It's like every time the subscriber count goes up or down, it either makes my day or like ruins my day. And that's something that I'm trying to work on for 2025, is just like to check my analytics less, to check the subscriber count less, because I don't want to wake up every morning feeling totally gutted. I don't want to do that. So I share what I share. I'm going to, try and work on the fact that not everyone that watches the video is going to like or comment or subscribe to the channel. I know that there's probably a lot of you out there that are also creators, that are also booktubers. And I have heard booktubers say that they watch a lot of booktube content and don't comment on their fellow booktubers because they don't want to be seen as trying to get more subscribers. So like they don't comment on, I don't know if that makes sense, but like sometimes if you comment on someone else's video, then people will check who you are, and then maybe they'll like your content and then go subscribe to you. And there's other booktubers out there that have actually said in their videos, they don't comment even though they consume, because they don't want to be taking, they don't want to be giving the impression that they're trying to gain followers that way. So I don't know, because sometimes when I watch booktubers, I actually legitimately want to comment on their videos because they've said something that's resonated with me, or they've, I don't know, so, or I have a different opinion than them or whatever. So I think I just, in the end, I just want to be myself. I want to be in my 40s. I want to be booktubing. I want to look the way I look. I want to present to you guys the way I present, and I just want to be real and authentic. And that, unfortunately, is not conducive to rapid channel growth, but maybe rapid channel growth is just never going to happen for me. And if it doesn't, that's okay. And that has to be okay. And the vulnerability has to be okay. It has to be okay. So, and I guess, like, while it's certainly validating to have the comments, the likes, the subscribes, it can't be the be all or end all. I'm here to discuss books, and hopefully eventually somebody will want to discuss them with me, back with me. Okay. So the last thing, and this is like a bonus goal for 2025, is I'm actually just going to read it from my list. I want to stop apologizing for being who I am and for not doing things the way I imagine they're supposed to be done, because this is as much a journey of personal growth as it is about being real and sharing my love of books and reading with like-minded people. I don't have anyone else in my life that I can talk about books with. That's true. And I have some unpopular opinions about certain books, and that has to be okay. So yeah, I think that it's very hard for me, and it has been my entire life, to stop apologizing for being who I am, for existing on this planet, for thinking the things that I think, and for doing things in the way I do them. And it's, well, I've never, like, I don't want to say that I have, like, it's just an insecurity. It's just an insecurity that I've always had that makes me feel like I am less worthy or less deserving of being on this planet and sharing things, because I don't perform to the speed or volume that maybe some other people that have been on BookTube longer or have been able to make a career out of their hobby, which, for better or for worse, is absolutely a goal of mine. And I think that not enough people talk about the real ugliness of what their feelings are. And, when they started their channels, I don't think I've ever heard anybody on YouTube say, when I started my channel, I wanted to make a career out of it. And I think I might be the only one, and I'm not going to apologize for that. So yeah, I mean, that's going to bring us to the end of this very chatty, very squirrely video, which I'm super impressed that I was able to do, considering that I have a cold. But I'm here for that, and I'm here for you guys, and I'm here for myself. And I just wanted to make this video so you guys could sort of have like a catch up and see where this channel is hopefully going to go in the new year. And I just hope that you'll stick around and be along for the ride. So thanks to everyone who's stuck around until the end of the video. If you're still here, you're absolutely my favorite. If you like this kind of content, if you want to be part of a small booktube community while it's still small, then please take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below if you are moved to do so. And I will see you again in the next video. Ciao for now.